From the time a woman is someone's girlfriend to the moment she becomes a wife, and later a mother, the way she lives inside herself changes more than most people realize. At first, those changes are not dramatic enough to be noticed. They do not arrive in one clear moment. They happen quietly through daily adjustments, through responsibilities that slowly settle into her life, through small emotional shifts that even she sometimes does not immediately understand. When she is still in love, before marriage, her heart often moves more freely. She still belongs mostly to her own rhythm. She can decide suddenly to go out to rest, to spend time on something that makes her happy without first thinking of 10 other things waiting behind it. If she misses someone, she sends a message. If she feels hurt, she may stay silent for a while, but inside she still expects to be asked. She still believes that being loved means being noticed easily. At that stage, love often feels emotionally visible. Attention is direct. Care is easier to recognize. A conversation at night can matter deeply. A promise feels important. A small meeting can become something she waits for all day. Even disappointment feels lighter then, because her world is still not carrying too many layers. But marriage slowly changes the way she experiences both love and daily life. Not because love disappears, but because life becomes heavier around it. A home begins asking things from her, before she fully realizes how many invisible responsibilities now live in her mind. She starts thinking differently, not only about what she feels, but about what must continue functioning, what needs to be prepared, what should not be forgotten, what may create tension later if ignored now. A simple afternoon no longer stays simple. While talking, part of her mind may already be arranging dinner, remembering tomorrow's appointment, thinking about something unfinished, or wondering whether a small family discomfort should be addressed carefully tonight. A husband often notices that after marriage his wife speaks more practically. She reminds him of bills, of family plans, of schedules, of things that seem ordinary. But behind those practical words there is often a deeper shift. She has begun carrying continuity. She is no longer only living inside moments. She is trying to protect what comes next. And that invisible mental habit is more tiring than many people think. Because physical work ends, mental responsibility often does not. Even while sitting quietly, part of her mind may still be moving. This is why sometimes a woman can look like she is resting, but inside she is not resting at all. She may be thinking about something small that no one else even noticed. Whether there is enough food left, whether someone sounded upset earlier, whether an unfinished conversation may grow heavier if left untouched. Marriage teaches many women to think ahead constantly, and the difficult part is this habit often becomes invisible precisely because she learns to do it so naturally. Then something else begins to change. She starts giving less space to parts of herself that once felt ordinary. Things she used to enjoy become postponed. A long bath becomes shorter. A favorite hobby becomes occasional. A quiet hour becomes rare. Not because she no longer values these things, but because life keeps presenting what feels more urgent. At first she tells herself it is temporary. But temporary routines, when repeated for years, can slowly reshape identity. That is why many women after some years of marriage sometimes feel a strange question rise quietly inside. When was the last time I did something only because I wanted to? It is not sadness exactly. It is more like realizing that many parts of who she was have moved further into the background. And yet she often says nothing, because daily life still continues, and there is always something next. Then motherhood arrives, and life changes at a deeper level again. Because becoming a mother does not only add work, it changes the way she experiences time, sleep space, and even emotional attention. Before having a child, tiredness often has a clear end. After becoming a mother, tiredness can become layered. Sleep interrupted repeatedly, listening even while half asleep, responding before fully resting. Even silence changes. A mother rarely hears silence without partly staying alert. A child sleeping peacefully does not fully turn her mind off. Part of her remains available. And this constant emotional readiness slowly becomes part of daily life. A husband returning from work may notice visible tiredness, but much of motherhood is not visible. It is repetition. The same care again and again. The same attention without pause. The same responsibility without official completion. And because many parts repeat daily, others often underestimate how much energy repetition consumes. The body becomes tired, yes. But often what wears a woman down most is emotional fragmentation. Doing one thing while thinking of another. Trying to rest while listening. Trying to eat while watching. Trying to speak while already preparing what comes next. This is why many mothers become quieter, not because they no longer feel deeply, but because too many channels inside them are active at once. There is another change that many people rarely talk about after becoming a mother. Many women begin feeling guilty, even when resting, because somewhere inside there is always one unfinished thing, something delayed, something forgotten, something she feels she should have done better. And guilt, when repeated often enough, can quietly steal emotional softness. Not loudly, just little by little. That is why sometimes what appears outside as impatience is actually accumulated inner fatigue. Sometimes a short answer is not anger, it is simply mental overload. Sometimes silence is not distance, it is lack of remaining emotional energy. Many men say, "My wife changed after having children. She laughs less, she becomes serious, she reacts more quickly." But often what changed is not love. What changed is the amount she carries before speaking. Because before responding, she has already lived through many small demands that day. And there is something even deeper. Many women do not become emotionally tired only because they work hard. They become emotionally tired when their effort becomes normal. So completely that no one notices it anymore. A meal appears. Laundry is folded. A child is prepared for tomorrow. A home keeps functioning. These things happen so regularly that they begin to look automatic. But nothing human is automatic. Behind ordinary stability is repeated attention. And attention costs energy. This is why one simple sentence can sometimes matter more than expensive gestures. "You look tired today." Because that sentence means I noticed. And being noticed often restores something very deep. Not because she needs praise constantly, but because invisibility is emotionally exhausting. Many women can endure hardship if they still feel emotionally accompanied. But if she becomes tired, and also begins feeling that her tiredness belongs only to herself, that is where loneliness enters. Loneliness inside marriage does not always create conflict. Sometimes it creates distance so quiet that neither person names it early enough. Less telling, less asking, less expecting. Not because love ended, but because disappointment repeated without drama. This is why many relationships do not become cold through one major event. They become distant through many small moments that passed without attention. A tired expression ignored, a sentence answered too quickly, a feeling postponed too often, and over time small omissions become emotional climate. What many women need is often not extraordinary romance. It is shared weight, a husband who notices without always needing explanation, a presence that understands that emotional labor also exists. Sometimes helping is not about solving everything. Sometimes it is simply reducing one invisible burden, taking initiative, seeing what needs doing, acting before being asked. Because one of the quiet frustrations many women carry is not only doing many things but also having to think for everyone first. And when someone shares that thinking, love feels real again. A woman may not say it directly, but often what touches her most is when care arrives without requiring her to request it. That creates emotional safety. And emotional safety is often what keeps tenderness alive in marriage. Because after years, love no longer survives through excitement alone. It survives through understanding daily reality. Through speaking gently when both people are tired. Through not turning exhaustion into accusation. Through remembering that both people carry burdens, even when those burdens look different. A man often carries pressure outside the home. A woman often carries continuity inside it. Neither is small. But both become dangerous when one side stops seeing the other. A lasting family is rarely built by rare perfect moments. It is built through repeated ordinary mercy, a softer answer, a delayed reaction, a hand offered early, a willingness to notice before damage grows. Because in the end, the woman beside a man has often traveled a long internal road, from someone who once simply knew how to love openly, to someone who learned restraint, responsibility, and sacrifice quietly. And if he only compares her to who she was years ago, he may miss something important. She did not lose softness. She learned strength, where softness alone could no longer carry everything. And strength, when practiced daily, often looks ordinary from the outside, but inside, it costs much more than it shows. That is why loving her today requires more than remembering who she was before. It requires understanding who life has asked her to become. Because every woman still hopes for one thing even after years of marriage, even after children, even after tired seasons, to return home emotionally, and still feel that someone there sees not only what she does, but who she is.